fishing for striped bass in the springtime. So the stipulation was each student is only allowed to go once a month, I think, once a month. But, of course, I didn't pay any attention to that stipulation, okay? I actually went quite often as I could, and there were only probably a half dozen of us, of those that really kind of took advantage of that. But I wanted to have a personal experience with Father, face to face, and I wanted to know what my relationship with Father is and who Father is to me. And by going fishing, as soon as I went out on the water, it's like all the cares of the land were left behind. And I want to share with you one experience I had with Father on the water. And just to say something about Father's personality, okay? And I'm not going to speak much longer. We'd be in the boats fishing, okay? And I had gone half a dozen or so times. And we'd use worms. We use worms, and the worms go right to the bottom of the river because you're fishing for striped bass with live bait on the bottom, okay? So everyone's fishing with worms. But I used to go in the evenings where I lived near UTS to just try fishing with other types of bait and things just to experiment. So I was trying these artificial lures. And I would catch, in the evening, I sometimes was catching these kind of bass, like what you call bream or that type of fish, right? So I'm catching them. So I said, okay, next time I go out on the Hudson for the stripes, I'm going to take 2 fishing rods, and I'm going to take one with the artificial lure, just to try it out. So we're in there, and we're out on the boat. Father's on one boat, about 3 or 4 boats out, and we're all put our lines in with the worms. And then I pick up my second rod, and I cast it out and start reeling it in a bit, because it's artificial lure, right? So you don't just leave it out there. Those of you who fished a little bit, you have to play the lure a little bit, right? So I started going like that and start reeling it in, like this. And all of a sudden, Father, who's in this boat about probably 100 yards away, all of a sudden I feel this strong spirit. I feel Father's spirit, like a whoosh, right next to me on the boat. This is really shocked. Like Father's his attention was automatically like this right to the boat. I said, what is it? And I just thought to myself, this is what Father is seeing because it's something different. He's curious what I'm doing. He's curious what I'm doing. What's he doing different? Because it was different from the norm, you see. The point I'm making is that our true Father is a person who received the revelation from God at the age of 16. If you read his autobiography, he's a person who investigated things and was very curious about things. He didn't take anything on face value. He always prayed throughout the night and whatever else. And you read about nature and learning about God from nature. And Father taught us and taught me about God through nature. And that was my opportunity to spend some time with true Father, going fishing with true Father. And I just want to say that, if any legacy that Father can leave to us is not a legacy of any kind of burden or any kind of guilt. Father's legacy to us, by virtue of his effort, by virtue of his way of life and his indemnity, is to make us free. The best thing we can do as children for true parents now is to be free within the principle. And that means that we open our hearts and minds and we allow true Father into us and true parents into us, and we be bold and endlessly curious and find out about things and find out where God is behind things and in things and how we can work with God to expand God's foundation on the earth. And when we truly, and I'm sure all of you have experienced this, when you're in the state of practicing true love and you feel truly selfless and you're giving unconditionally, do you feel any fear? Do you feel any gap between yourself and others? Is there a racial gap or a position gap or a money gap? There is no gap, is there? That's the legacy of true Father. And I hope that we, regardless of whatever we may face in life, and I'm promising myself, and I promised in prayer in front of True Father, that I would promise to live the rest of my life on earth as a filial son to the best of my ability in that way. That's my promise to myself and to True Father. Thank you very much. Okay.
So thank you very much, Chris and Ted, for that. That was beautiful. So just want to say to all of those of you who joined us over the internet, especially I know there's lots of mums and people outside London, we're actually going to cut the Ustream at 12:30 because that's when the link to Korea becomes available. And the whole thing about getting onto that link to the Seonghwa in Korea is that, you want to get on it early, I believe, so that if lots of people get on it, you don't lose the connection. That's about as far as my technical explanation will go. So we'll stop the Ustream in about 5 minutes. And Raymond, do we have the stuff from Valgus? Okay, so I don't know if you've seen Valgus Moore's video that he made, little edited kind of compilation of clips from when True Father was here in London last year on the London Eye at Westminster Abbey, riding down the Thames, speaking to all of us, and finishing with those words, "I will protect you to the end." So it was very nice, actually, that recently when Father passed away, that actually they used that on Sky TV. They actually used Valgus's video to show some images of our True Father and True Parents. So I asked him if he could send us a few for tonight, some other bits that maybe we haven't seen. So I don't know what he's done. He didn't have much time because he was very busy, but he very kindly put something up for us. So let's maybe dim the lights and we'll just watch that now.
하나님 말씀 앞들어서
And Reverend Young said that he would uphold Father's words, would carry them out. He must also do the same, follow Father's words.
예.
Guide these people well. Are you going to listen to it? Are you going to do it as I say? You say yes. So, what kind of sports do you do?
Soccer and 축구를 합니다. 축구. Just started boxing.
그리고 그 권투를 저기 시작했답니다. You won't last very long on that. I think you'll get tired of it pretty soon and just run away. Because your buttocks is in the wrong shape. So here, you don't have this like here, back here. asked myself, what is happiness? And happiness is to know where I belong to. And that is the happiness of members of the Unification Church Manse.
Good evening, everybody. In case you're wondering, I'm not giving a personal testimony. Instead, I'm giving a testimony from a second gen from America. He wrote on the What's So Special About This Man website as well. It's Yongil Eli Low. Some of you may know him. He's second gen from America, but he lives in Ireland at the moment. So here's his testimony. When I was struggling to understand my faith and identity, I had a very personal experience with Father. I was living in Korea in the GOT program, and we would have an opportunity to greet Father as he attended the performances at the Seonghwa Art School. We would stand together in a row and offer a half bow as true parents walked past. Since I was not the tallest person, I would stand near the door. There would be a crowd behind us, and on one occasion, when I was full of skepticism and doubt, I decided I did not want to bow. When Father walked in, I was watching him intently, asking myself, what's so special about this man? At that moment, he looked over and glanced at me, and I saw into his eyes. It's hard to describe what I saw, but I felt humbled. I don't know how much you can read in a person's eyes, but I could tell that nothing I had ever done in my life could compare to what I saw in those eyes. So I bowed, and it was the most sincere bow I have ever given. To this day, I have looked into many eyes and have not seen the heart that shone through the eyes of the Messiah. Another experience was in 2005, when I went to the Special Task Force Assembly. During our time in Korea, we had many opportunities to have Hunduk with Father. On one occasion, our STF group was crammed into a small room with Father and some leaders. He asked our STF leaders to come up and sing, and then started pointing to random people in the crowd to give an offering song. Every time someone went up to the front to perform, they would give Father a deep bow. After about 5 people, Father mumbled, "I don't really like bowing." And although there was a translator, this small comment was left out. Yongil, he speaks Korean, so I guess he could understand. I was lucky that I could understand it, and it showed me that deep down, Father was always a humble man, despite the external success he had. His words and teachings will never die, as they continue to inspire and guide us in the future. So I read this morning, and it's a very beautiful testimony. I'm sure you agree. And although he didn't somehow have a very direct or close experience with Father, I think it says a lot about Father's spirit and what he conveys when he goes to different places. And although personally I haven't had such a deep experience with Father directly, I can say that hearing everybody else's testimonies is very precious for those of us who haven't had those direct experiences. So thank you to those who could also give their testimonies tonight. Cheers.
Thank you, Neil. And if you're still with us, Valgus, thank you for that little montage. I want to invite up Annette Ormond, who's offered to... Just want to say thank you to all those who... Because I said out in the email, would anyone like to give a testimony? And so I'm really grateful for those who did respond. And Annette had an experience recently that she wanted to share. So let's welcome our sister, Annette.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to say before I start, they're wonderful children. You're so good. We should all say yes. You're great kids. You're really good. You're so quiet. Anyway, I have a very unusual experience on the morning that the announcement came that Father was taken into hospital critically ill. So, I don't know, children, did you ever wake up feeling something in your room? Yeah, sometimes. Hey, something woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not sure which date it was. All I know is the chronology of what the experience was because it was so strong. And then it started at 2 in the morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep because it continued for about 4.5 hours. And then when I went to the computer at 6 or 6:30 to check my email, and then I went into my Facebook to see if there were messages there. And someone in America, I have lots of Facebook friends, older members in America. And the message came up that father was taken into hospital, critically ill, and this very powerful experience connected up to that. So this is the experience. Try and get it in 5 minutes. I woke up at 2, and I was very tired. I'm working really very hard, and I kept a really good discipline this summer. No sleeping late, getting up early, praying, keeping things going in the house, doing lots of stuff. So I was really tired. I'd only had 2 or 3 hours sleep. I couldn't understand what's waking me up, and I felt so sad. It was just overwhelming, and I just started crying, and I thought, what on earth is this? I sat on the bed, had a drink of water, and I felt this just amazing sadness, but it was also love and grief. And I thought, well, because I was making a lot of effort for the last few months, I hadn't been praying enough for a long time, and I made a lot of effort to pray in recent months. And I thought, oh, this is the result, and I'm dealing with something. So I started to pray. I said, this is my opportunity now to really pray. So I prayed, and I just felt immediately to just apologize to God about my life, lack of results, wish I had done more. I'm always losing my temper. I have a terrible temper. You ask my kids. I give my husband a terrible time. I don't know how we're still together. It's really hard. And then this is just generally life stress and strife and worry and anxiety, So I was so glad to pray, because once I started praying, I could really cry, and I really felt that this was connecting to me, this prayer. And but I noticed actually through the prayer that this feeling that I was having in my prayer, which I was very grateful for, there was still this other feeling there. And I thought, oh, there's 2 feelings here. There's me praying, and there's that one. It's still there. And so I thought, oh, it's just me. I'm overtired, I'm stressed out. Anyway, a very, over-the-top Irish woman. I had another drink. I thought I'd lie down and go back to sleep again. I've only had 2 hours sleep, and I couldn't. So I thought, this is a very sad feeling. It's almost too much. And I thought, look at your conscience, Annette. What is it, And I thought, I haven't called my mother in such a long time, You can only take so much negativity in your life from your parents about what you've done in your life, your faith. So I'm not looking after her. I'm not visiting her. She's getting old. And so I prayed, and I repented about that, and I could really cry about it, and I felt, I'm really going to do something about this, and I'm very glad I've cleared that up. But as I was praying, even in that, I could feel this feeling getting stronger. And then I felt this woman in the room. And I thought, this is very unusual, I was beginning to feel uncomfortable and a little bit scared. And this lovely, beautiful woman was in the room in her, maybe, couldn't put an age on her. And I could see or feel, I couldn't see, but I could feel hands. And she was holding someone's hands. And they were holding hands with so much love. It was like a scene out of Romeo and Juliet. I felt my heart was just, the love was just so beautiful. And then it came to me, do I love my husband in this way? I felt these people were saying goodbye, or they were being torn away from each other. It was too much. And I was starting to cry. This is such a beautiful experience, who these people are, or what am I having this experience for? I should get up now and get dressed and go downstairs. I'm just not going to be able to go to sleep. And anyway, these two people, there was then I could see or feel this man, and they were definitely holding hands, and they were like a lover, like lovers saying goodbye. And it was just the most unbelievable experience. That's all I can say. I don't have these experiences at all. I came downstairs, I did some work. I thought I need to do something and just concentrate on something.